Hey guys, we've been away for a while with the long run interviews, but we're back today with a bit of a treat. We have the King of the Marathon, King of the Cross Country, Mick Clohisey. Really interesting talking to Mick yesterday. I met up with him in Fairview Park and we had a really nice chat about all things running. Sorry about the wobbly camera at the start, guys, but it was a very windy day, as you can see. But still really interesting to hear what Mick has to say.
I probably started running originally from the influence of my father. My dad ran a lot, he still does. He ran marathons, Dublin Marathon many times, London, a few others. And he would have done a lot of the old classic races around, the business houses races around Dublin and the surrounding areas. But he ran regularly, and so when I was quite young, I was soccer and Gaelic football were my main sports. And it would have been times when matches were called off or something at the weekend that I might go for a run with my dad, and I'd say they were the first times I actually went for proper runs. And then, so that's where I probably got the original, gra for running. And then it wasn't until I went to secondary school that I first started running cross country for the school in St. Paul's in Raheny there. So that's where it all started anyway. Yeah, so I would have joined Raheny Shamrocks in my mid-teens. I was playing a lot of Gaelic football, soccer more so actually then. But through St. Paul's College, Dick Hooper, who's coached me all the way up since then, and Paddy Noonan, who's president of Raheny, he was involved with St. Paul's. And the connection there got us into Raheny Shamrocks. So I suppose I joined the club because of the camaraderie, and just there was a great buzz about Raheny and training as a group together. And I haven't looked back since. Joining Raheny has been a big part of my life. So my favourite distance has become the marathon in recent times. Originally, cross country was my main focus. In my mid-20s, I would have been strongest at cross country, or late 20s, 10k cross country. I actually used to love 12k, but there's not as much of that anymore over the country. But 10k cross country was one of my favourite distances. And then the marathon in the last 5 years or so has become my main event, and probably the one that I do enjoy the most, and it's probably my most, the one that I'm best suited to. So I've kind of moved from cross country to marathon, but I always like to get back to the country when I can. Yeah, most memorable race, I probably have a good few of them. From the old days, winning the national cross country back in 2015 was a great day for me. But for marathon wise, possibly my first Dublin in 2018, winning the national title and finishing 6th overall. It was a really great buzz, just the hometown, the streets of Dublin that I know so well, and the support out on the streets, and that had a very special feeling, especially coming down the last mile back in towards Merrion Square, and to get my first national marathon title as well was a big thing for me. So I think that might stand out. I've other ones running for Ireland, the World Championships in London 2017, that stand out as well, but I think the Dublin one has a special feeling to it. Yeah, I was a little bit late coming to the carbon plate, well, compared to some of the other guys I was racing against. Dublin 2018 was when I first realised that everyone else had them, and I was still in the old flats, the old style racing flats. And then I said, look, I better get on with the show here as everyone else has them, and try them out. And I've become so used to them now. I don't know, do you feel the benefit as much as originally did? They're here with us, all the brands have them. It's part of technology. I suppose they have to put a cap on it, which is a good thing. But look, I don't think they're not magic. I think there's a lot of stuff saying that the shoes did this. They do help, but I find what's great about them as well, they do help your recovery. There's less impact, especially for the marathon type event, and they're part and parcel of the running landscape now. So I think they're here to stay for now, and I've no problem with them. Like coming new into running, there's been a massive influx of people joining clubs as well. I think the park run has been a great help towards this for more people running, and the park runs have been brilliant to get people who previously wouldn't have ran out running at a more kind of, I suppose, sociable level as well. And that leads on to another, some join a club then, which clubs aren't for everyone, but it is a massive benefit joining a club if you want to be serious about your running, because you get the camaraderie of training with other people, and just the whole club element of in the inclusiveness, especially in athletics clubs. You know, everybody's welcome, no matter what the level, and you can find your own you know, level of people to train with, and you can come and go as you feel. So it is a great thing to join a club. Other important things to running is to take it gradually. I think there is the whole thing of the marathon being the, you know, the ultimate kind of achievement, and I think if someone's new to running, it's good to give it a bit of time if you want to do a marathon, to build up, get used to the shorter distances, and just get your body adapted and conditioned to running. Because if the marathon is brilliant, but at the same time, if you have a bad one on your first one, it can, you know, it can turn you off. And I think that's where people need to respect the marathon. And, you know, if you want to do well at it, to give it the time it needs. Do your half marathons, your 10 miles, your 10Ks, 5Ks before, and then move up. And, you know, you'll probably actually enjoy it more when you're well prepared for it. So I think that's an important thing, not to rush into a marathon. You'll get there, and, you know, don't feel under pressure that you have to do one straight away.
So you have your own running group, so you're a coach yourself, Mick?
Yeah, so about 2017 I started to branch into coaching myself, or coaching, not myself personally, but coaching other people from all levels really, beginners, intermediate, various levels. I started off quite small with some group sessions actually in around Ringsend for people at lunchtime from work. Everything starts very small. I might have 3 or 4 people there. Then I kind of branched out to doing my local ones up in the Raheny area, Clontarf area, evening sessions on a Tuesday evening, and morning sessions. Now they've changed through the years. At the moment what I'm doing is a Tuesday evening session, Wednesday morning quite early for people before work at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I do a Thursday morning session at 9:30, which is a good buzz. It's a good kind of social scene afterwards up in St. Anne's Park. We have the Olives Rooms Cafe there, and that's kind of part of the whole ritual to go there afterwards. So it's a great buzz coaching. Now my sessions, a lot of the people who go are probably members of Raheny Shamrocks, but not all of them. It's independent of Raheny. It's my own group, Mick Clohisey Raheny. I have a fair few from Dublin Bay Running Club attend as well, and then people unattached to any club. So it's not anything to do with a club.
Sure.
So it's open to everybody.
Sure. And you have a Facebook page? And
yeah, well, there's Mick Clohisey Running on Facebook, and I promote it a bit on Instagram as well, Mick Clohisey. A lot of the stuff we do is kind of internal by WhatsApp, but word of mouth has spread it. And then as well as that, I do online type coaching, one-to-one with some people. I've helped them to marathons lately, all levels as well. And then I do online blocks, kind of 5-week blocks where I send out sessions each week, and people sign up. They can pay bi-weekly, or they can sign up for the full block. And as well as that, I've done the odd event. I did a half marathon in the Phoenix Park, unofficial kind of training type events for the group. And then on Dollymount Strand, we've done a few beach runs with the help of Ronan Wogan from My Run Results. So I kind of gave it with the clock, etc., made it kind of a bit more official. So yeah, no, it's been good. And do the odd bit of corporate stuff as well, which has been slow to start back down in Irishtown track, but because of the pandemic and the people not being in offices, that has stalled for now. But I'd say things will start to come back. But I'm happy enough with what I've got.
Do you find that you get a buzz, a kick out of the coaching yourself?
Oh, absolutely. I love it. Like, it's like, obviously I love running. I love being outdoors. Like, I'm not an indoor person. I get uncomfortable being inside too long. So sometimes I'm up in St. Anne's Park, and you know, no matter what time of the year, and you're just looking around saying, I'm doing this to make a living. You know, it's a great feeling. Yeah. And you're helping people, and it's like, obviously, like everything, you have to put the effort in. You can't take it too casually either. You know, you want to make sure that everyone's looked after. And but I do like last Tuesday we were up on Hout Summit in the evening. I brought the gang out to do a hill session. We might do the first Tuesday of each month. We'll go out to Hout, and had a big crowd on the hill. So it was about trying to make sure that everyone was safe, and also because of cars and stuff. So, you know, it's not like, you are kind of responsible as well for everyone's well-being. And
the question a lot of people probably want to know from yourself at the moment is what your plans for the future, the near future are, I suppose, and long term? Yeah,
so I suppose my most recent event was Belfast Marathon, which was the National Championships, and I was delighted to get the win up there. Now I've had a few injury issues over the last year, so thankfully things worked out with Belfast that I was, able to get through it okay. I kind of knew I wasn't going into it 100% fitness wise, but I was able to kind of run my own race, and delighted to get the win. It's rare to win a marathon outright, and thankfully that I was able to get that this year. So short term, I'm looking at a bit of cross country over the next few weeks. As I said in the past, cross country would have been my main focus, but now I have to kind of accept the marathon is where I kind of have to focus so mainly on. But I still like to dip into cross country. I mightn't be able to train the way I used to for cross country, but I'll dip in and see what I can do. And then marathon wise, I'm looking at Seville in February, which I've ran a few times before, and I'd like to try and get my time back down, maybe a PB, or because it's kind of like last year, so it's been a bit messy, and I'd like to try and progress, which I had been in the marathon. Just the injuries have slowed things down, and then I suppose COVID was a messy kind of with events. But Seville, and hopefully then there's actually a World Championships and a European Championships next summer. The Europeans is probably looking more likely, and there's an Irish team event possibly that could be quite a strong team. So it's always great to have targets off in the future, but Seville for now will be the main aim, and it's not that far away, February.
And we don't have Paris in the background, or?
Oh yeah, that'll come around quicker now because of the year. Like I would love to make it back to the Olympics. Obviously I wasn't in Tokyo, and I don't know, it would have been very hard to make that anyway. I had attempted to run last April in Cheshire Marathon, but I got injured, and that put an end to that. But yeah, part of me would like to get back, because I feel in Rio in 2016, I got through it, I finished it out, which I look back, I'll be proud of. I was sick going into the race, etc. So I would like to go back to the Olympics and put in a stronger
unfinished business.
I suppose. But there's a great thing about running as well. There is European Championships and World Championships.
There's always something coming up.
The year after Rio, I ran the World Championships in London, and that was I was 22nd, and I felt I kind of redeemed myself after Rio, and that was a great buzz. And so it's not always the Olympics, but I will be on the back. I'll have to see how. I suppose the main thing is to try and make sure the body holds up. I have to be more disciplined in that regard, looking after myself as the years go on.
The thing I'd always say, you'd see it on the telly and hear it on the radio, and you have journalists calling someone a former Olympian.
I saw that in the paper today with Sonia, actually.
They call her, you're never a former Olympian. Once you've gone to the Olympics, you're an Olympian for your life,
Yeah, that's what Pat Hooper would always say,
once you've done it,
and look, it's not something I wouldn't be one going around saying, I'm an Olympian and stuff, but it is nice when people do, say it back to you, when you're introduced as an Olympian. It's not like, look, it doesn't really mean nothing major either, we're all, no matter what level of running, everyone's inclusive, and it's a great, I suppose, for my family and the club as well, it's a big thing as well.
It's a big thing for the community. It's like in any sport, when somebody does well from the local community, it's not just the person in the family, it's the whole community.
Yeah, exactly, and I suppose it kind of does get your name out there, because sometimes in athletics, I suppose it is kind of not as big a media interest in some events, and even the likes of Belfast there last month, I got great media exposure from it, and it's it's rare, and not that I'm looking for me, but it is nice the odd time to get
to be appreciated,
get the face around, and then there's people stopping me on the street saying well done, and people who mightn't really follow athletics too much, so that's always nice.
That's great. Thanks very much, Mick.
No bother. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for having me here.
Best of luck in the future.
Fairview Park. Thanks. Good morning.
There you go, guys. That's Mick Clohisey Raheny Shamrocks, legend of Irish athletics. Absolute pleasure to have Mick on the channel. He's an absolute gentleman. If you're liking what you're seeing on the channel, guys, if you're liking the content and you want to see more, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel, because that's what drives the channel on. Thanks very much, guys. Take care, and we'll see you soon.